Hey guys, back again with another review of another Puppet Master movie, Puppet Master 3, Toulon's Revenge from 1991, starring Guy Raz, Richard Lynch, Ian Abercrombie, Christopher Logan, Aaron Eisenberg, Walter Godell, Sarah Douglas, Matthew Faison, Michelle Bauer, and Jasmine Torskell as the prostitute. Um, Wow, so I've watched three Pope Masters today, and I think this is probably my second favourite one. I think I like number two and three more than number one because my number one's kind of like an introduction, I guess, and I guess it's not as good. Anyway, so basically, number three starts off in Berlin in 1941. If I'm correct. Yeah, it starts off in 1941 Berlin, and basically you start off by seeing, oh, sorry about that, seeing, sorry, I've just gone brain dead, Dr. Hess doing an experiment on someone. Basically, that guy's rattling about, woohoo, woohoo, woo, and Major Kraus comes in. I love that. I love how German soldiers in every single movie have got Kraus in their name. And basically goes, oh, it's happened. And he goes, no one lasts more than 5 minutes. And then the guy goes, ugh, ugh. So it's all about the experiment. Then all of a sudden the guy comes back and starts strangling him. And the Major Kraus ends up shooting him. Because what Dolores wants is an animation formula to basically make them live so that you can control them, but they're dead. Thus comes running in Lieutenant Eric Stein. This matters because you see him go to Toulon's puppet show. He's sitting in the back. He's sitting in the back of the audience, and basically, what was his Peter Hertz, and Peter goes out there with his dad. And they talk to him about the puppets, and Toulon goes, "The puppets need to sleep as much as we do." And Peter goes, "What?" Basically, and then he leaves. And then basically Eric Stein comes in and goes, I know the puppets are alive and all this stuff. And how do you do without strings? He goes, my own, and Talon goes, oh, my own special technique. So he goes outside, Stein this is, and he climbs up and takes pictures through a window of Talon basically feeding Pinhead, Tunneler, Jester, and a new puppet, Sixura. Probably the coolest puppet. Yeah, that's right. In this one, he only has six shooter Jester, Tunneler, and Pinhead to start off with. And you sit there going, "Where's Blade? Where's Leech Woman?" Well, their origins are in this movie. So basically, Stein takes pictures of him feeding them. And it's really funny because um, Talon says to Tunneler, "You're always the first one, aren't you?" And he's like this. And he goes to Pinhead, "You could easily become the top one, but you're not horrible, are you?" And Pinhead goes, hmm. So that's funny. And Jester, "You're always smiling and pulling faces." It's quite funny, actually. And he got Sixer going, ho, 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 ho. So it was quite funny. Oh, yeah, and he's got a Hitler. He's got a Hitler puppet, which I wish had been an animated one, which was moved as well. Because that would have been hilarious seeing a Hitler puppet killing the German army people. But anyway, so he takes pictures of them. He then takes them back to Major Kraus and Dr. Hess. Dr. Hess wants to do the right thing and talk to Talon about and kind of get his recipe to help science and medicine. And basically, they decide they want to arrest him. And Dr. S says to Kraus, please don't hurt him, blah, 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 blah. They go in, they grab hold of the puppets, they threaten Toulon, they shoot his wife Elsa in the chest. And the funniest thing is she's gone like this. Oh, she's like, oh. And then as everybody leaves, she moves her head up like this, spits at Major Kraus like, puh. What? He pulls that gun and she goes like this again. Ah. It's just really, really funny, that scene, because you sit there thinking, why the hell would you spit on him if you knew he was going to shoot you? Let's be honest, Major Kraus is going to shoot you if you spit on him because he's that type of guy. So, Toulon's upset. The puppets are upset. He's put into a car with 2 German soldiers and... Oh, sorry. And... basically, one grabs out a pinhead, just looks at him and gets strangled by him, and Toulon goes through the driver. The car just stops. In reality, it would have crashed. You know, boom. Because as you die, your foot would get heavier and you'd kind of go fast and crash. But, you know, happens. So Toulon gets the puppets, he gets out, and he goes straight back to his old stage and all this. And then he goes on the run. And while all this is happening, you've got General Muller, played by Walter Gotel, who normally plays the General in nearly everything I've seen him in, including James Bond. I looked up his resume thing of films before he died. And he had like 20 General things. He must have liked being a General in movies. He did look like the kind, though. So, this guy's like, you need to find Toulon. You need to find Toulon. He escaped. You did great work, Major Kraus. He escaped. Oh, you're finished, basically. So Toulon's on the run, and that's where he bumps into Peter, and his dad hurts again. And as he's doing that, a 6-shooter goes and assassinates General Muller. But when he shoots him, he doesn't just fall through the window, he jumps out the window. If you look at the film when he's going out, it's like, wow, he jumps out the window. He doesn't fall like, ugh. He goes jumping through the window, which is quite funny. Like, you know. And basically, Dr. Hess finds out where he is, and he visits him and goes, Toulon, are you going to send one of your puppets to assassinate me? And he goes, and Toulon goes, not just yet. And you're like, So basically, Hertz basically sells Toulon out because of the money. There's a big reward, and he sells Toulon out, even though his son Peter is kind of wanting to become his apprentice, and basically Toulon says, "Oh, you can help me. You can be my apprentice and all that, you know, protege, whatever you want to call it." And they're building a real nice relationship between them. It's really, really nice to see. His dad goes and sees Major Kraus and sells him out. Then he says to Major Kraus when they're outside, can you please let me go and get my son? So, sure. He goes, gets his son. They budge in because he's still in there. And Pinhead and that, they do him in. Right? They do the soldiers in. But just before that, Toulon makes a new puppet, Leech Woman, out of the spirit of his dead wife, Elsa, because she chose to be in that. And he tells Dr. Hess that when people die, they choose to be in his puppets. He doesn't just put them in there, they choose to be when they're dead. So when his wife died about 20 minutes earlier in the film, her spirit somehow chose to stay on Earth and then go in the puppet. Then basically, she gets leeches on the person and all this stuff. And all I kept thinking about Leech Woman Elsa was, in number 2, he's obsessed with that girl being Elsa. Yet at the time, Elsa is in that puppet of Leech Woman before she gets killed, that is. So why is he focusing on her when he's got her in the puppet? Anyway, so Dr. S is like, oh, Toulon, you need to escape, And off they go, running. And basically Hertz goes, "Run, son, run!" And Major Kraus basically shoots him in like an argument when they're trying to move the gun about. And Peter's like this, "Father, no, father." And you're like, mm-hmm. And so they're running off, and six shooter shoots a army guy. Six shooter shoots a Nazi, and Dr. Hess bends over that bloke. Now you got to remember, six shooter's got 6 bullets, so the bloke's like on the floor, right? Dr. Hess bends over and goes, "Oh, he's dead." The guy pulls out a knife and stabs him. That's right. The dead body pulls out a knife and stabs him and then dies. And you're like, oh, come on. You've got 6 bullets in your body. Realistically, you're not going to pull out a knife and stab Dr. Hess, are you? And Dr. Hess just falls and dies. And you're like, what was the point in that? Toulon then takes his outfit, takes the Nazi guy's outfit, and then he goes back home to where he has the puppet show. Goes to sleep on the bench thing. And then basically dreams about when he was in Cairo and learning about the art of basically reanimating puppets. In comes Peter. They talk, and then there's this confrontation where Talon and the puppets go to Major Kraus's office. And basically Pinhead beats him down. And all of a sudden a new puppet comes walking in. And we can't guess who that is. Blade. That's right. Blade comes walking in. And Major Kraus goes, because he looks just like him with the black hat and the black coat, but with a hook and a blade. And he goes, heh, heh, heh. And you know who's in that? You know who's in that puppet? Dr. Hess. Because he chose to be in that puppet. He chose to. It makes me laugh, that. So basically, they torture him, basically, and he dies, basically. And they cut his, they kill him, basically, but a bit of torture first. A bit of torture never hurt anybody. Then you see Toulon waiting at a train station with Peter, and they basically get on the train. And that's it. The film... Hold on, sorry. The film's a lot of fun. I really enjoyed it. Richard Lynch is great as Major Kraus. He just looks like a Nazi crazy man, like the type where he's in control, and if you don't let him be in control, he's going to shoot you. Some of the most ridiculous scenes though was when Elsa spat on him and then went ah, even though she was shot right in the chest. That was a bit silly. What was it directed by? This one was directed by David DeCoteau. Okay. It was a good film. I highly enjoyed it. I liked going back to the 1940s, and I liked kind of learning what he was doing with the puppets. The only problem I had with it was they didn't have the Hitler one animated. I wanted the Hitler one animated because I thought that would have been cool. There's a bit in it, I think, where Major Kraus actually smashes it. He goes like this, and the head goes. I like seeing the origins of Blade and Bleach Woman, but apart from me feel like it didn't make sense a little bit because the whole thing. But then, if he was crazy in number 2, then But being Talon in number 3 is excellent. What I mean by that is he's very confident. He's very confident and he's very caring. And he's like a wise old man. When he talks to Peter and he talks to the puppets, you get this sense of he understands what's going to happen. But he's going to die eventually, but he cares about these puppets. And it's really weird because it's like an extension of what happened in the first one at the beginning, where he cares about them. But in the second one, obviously went mental, so that kind of changed everything. So I liked it because it was dark. It was like Nazi killing. Well, you were watching some puppets take care of business. Finally, you have a Pinhead, Tunneler, Jester were the original 3, and then you had 6 shooter. It made me think, where the hell was 6 shooter in number 1 and 2? Where was he? And it makes me wonder about Torch. You know, Tulsa, I'm guessing, was made in number 2. I know 6 Year was made in number 3, but is it gonna? Why wasn't in the other two? If this was, back in the 40s, and the other two were in the 80s or 90s, so continuity errors are the big thing in Puppet Master. Know that so far there's been 3 different Toulons as well, played with 3 different people, so that's another thing. But anyway, yeah, and Elsa was played by different people and all. But so far, it's been pretty good. All the actors put in solid performances. Some of it was a bit campy, and some of it was a bit ridiculous, but in a fun way. It's the early 90s. It's an early 90s horror comedy, I guess, because it is quite funny to a degree. Maybe not on purpose, but it's the early 90s horror, and let's be honest, they were a bit cheesy. They just got out the 80s, and the 80s was kind of like the highlight. The 70s and 80s were kind of like the big time of horror, especially the 80s. And I mean, of cheap, budget. I mean, like Final Exam, Death Spa, Fatal Games, uh, you name it. So they kind of just got out of the 80s, and 90s was a little bit cheap. They were going through different things like different kinds of animation, and kind of taking away the basics that made the 80s so great. And even to this day, I miss 80s horror films because they had something special we don't get now. But that's for a vlog video in the future, not for a video now. So overall, Puppet Master 3 is a fun, solid experience. A little bit campy, but a lot of fun. I highly enjoyed seeing 6 Shoot with the new puppet. There he is. There he is. Look, there he is with the gang. Yep. I love him. I think it's great. I wish I had 6 arms. Bang, 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 bang. Excellent. He does that great laughter as well, like a pervert. But yeah. Oh, itchy nose. I think I've got allergies. But anyway. Highly recommend giving Puppet Master 3 a go. If you've seen 1 and 2, you need to keep watching them. I've only ever seen the first 3 and the last 2, Axis Rising and Axis of Evil. I've never seen the ones in between, these ones here. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Never seen them, so I'm going to get right on that and watch them, review them, and do the whole series. So yeah, give Puppet Master 3 a go. It's always great seeing a new puppet. Guy Rolfe is fantastic as Toulon. To be honest with you, he keeps you watching because you just want to see what he's going to do. Richard Lynch is as fantastic as always. And there was 2 side performances. Plus the puppets. The puppets are great as well. So always watch Puppet Master because it's always guaranteed to be a lot of fun. And, you might end up meeting some new friends. Some puppets. So yeah. I give this, let's see, what can I give this one? I gave the first one 3.5. I gave the second one 4. I think I will give this one a 4 as well. Because this number 2, I enjoyed them equally as much. So yeah, this is a 4. So thanks for watching, guys. If you've seen any of the Puppet Masters, let me know what you thought of them down below. And thanks for watching. And please subscribe. Thank you. Take care, guys. Bye.